Hey guys, what's up? I have my Illinois States report. This is the third part. I guess I'm going to post a list. It's pretty similar to the other two lists I was running though. I'm just going to post this one in the D box. I really don't feel like editing this video. I'm just going to do this one real quick for you guys. I got my notes here. I'm not even going to try and hide them. Kind of a little lazy for that. So I'm still playing CMT. I just, the deck I'm comfortable with. I decided to put Virizion back in and add a second Tornadus. I cut my bridge count down, which was kind of interesting. It was harder to get the turn 1 attack, but at the same time, it did a lot of things like, I cut down on consistency too. I actually cut out a Pokegear, and I put in a Cheren. But it just gave me more options to attack with, and I kind of like that. So, in the end, I think it was a decent addition, and I think I like the list that I played with this week the best out of the three. So, round 1, I'm paired against a guy named Rob. He's playing the Zeals. Basically, I get the energy on Mewtwo and snipe some Dynamos, and then I promote Gigas instead. I think I use the switch just to keep Mewtwo on the bench and not really threaten the Mewtwo revenge. So I start sniping some Eels, and I end up taking the prize lead. He's using Zapdos to snipe around and try and hit Celebis. And at this point I'm pretty confident because I don't really feel like that was the best way to go. But basically what it comes down to is I'm one prize away. He's caught up after he kills Gigas, which, hurts me a lot. I didn't really kill any EX Pokemon at this point. And he just didn't bench him, which actually works out pretty favorably. His Zekrom EX, or not Zekrom EX, his regular Zekroms did a lot of work in the game, but he ends up, basically it comes down to when I take my second to last prize, I have the option of catching his Zekrom EX. It doesn't have any energy on it. I have about 7 energy on the field and a Juniper in hand. So what I could have done is I could have added used the Shaymin that I also added. Try and Shaymin all my energy onto a Mewtwo. I did have the catchered it out and hopefully hit the DCE or switch into grass. You can try and X-ball it for 180. I chicken out and go the conservative route. I didn't feel like there was any need to go too gutsy. I had a Mewtwo active with 2 grass and an Eviolite and a bench Mewtwo with 2 energy. I think I did a DCE attached to it. So I have a KO I think on a Zekrom, and I'm pretty sure I can get the next KO the next turn, one way or another. He's got energy, he's got damage Pokemon, all that jazz. And basically his 5-card hand ends up containing a catcher, a plus power Mewtwo, and a DCE. And using those, he's able to catcher up the bench Mewtwo and take 2 prizes at once with the big Mewtwo KO. I didn't really see it coming. He ends up killing 2 Celebi, Gigas, and a Mewtwo for game. So he ends up winning, and I'm 0-1. It was a good play. I could have played that one probably a little differently, and it would have worked out better. I didn't need the second energy on that one Mewtwo, I guess. So that was probably something I should have done differently. But things like that happen. And then my next round is against a guy named Noah. He's playing Lucario, Absol, Relicanth. A deck that I've kind of been familiar with, and surprisingly his version didn't have Mew, which actually takes a lot of pressure off a CMT player. But basically he just continues to Lost Zone stuff, and I take 4 prizes, just Tornadus. I didn't feel the need to use Mewtwo. I do have 1 on the bench with 1 energy. I decided Juniper at one point, and I figured, I might as well play it. So what ends up happening is that he has one of the single most impressive turns I've ever read a player have. I'm not going to say that I thought his deck was necessarily the greatest. It was pretty good considering it was Lucario, Absol, Relicanth. I don't mean to talk another player down, especially one who does what he did. He actually drops the Ruins of Elf to knock out my Skyarrow Bridge, preventing me from accelerating with Shaymin or Celebi. Not only this, it takes away my Tornadus' resistance to his Lucario and its Dimension Sphere. And he also plays a Lost Remover to get rid of a DC attached to my active Tornadus, which has an Eviolite, so he can't knock it out. Catchers up the Tornadus on the bench with 2 grass energy, which does not have an Eviolite, and then he ends me. So I go down to 2 cards, and then he's able to knock out the Tornadus, and basically took 4 energy off of my field. I would have been able to revenge with the Mewtwo with 1 grass, but unfortunately I dead draw. I just draw into Celebis and Junk Arms without a Pokegear in the discard, and it just turns out to kind of be a bust on my side. So I actually end up dropping this one as he just 6 prize sweeps me after ending me to 2. A little surprising. I only played 2 supporters, so really a good end, but nonetheless, I can't, talk down him having that crazy turn there. So props to Noah for winning the game. I don't know how he did overall. I don't think too great as my resistance is pretty poorly. But, playing a really rogue deck without Mew or Mewtwo and still doing okay, I guess. Round 3, I'm playing against a Grass Rogue that was playing Jumpluff, Virizion, and Sunflora. Basically, to shorten this one out, I just take prizes with Mewtwo. He's not playing Mewtwo. I just load some energy on it, an X-Ball, have some Tornadus in the background ready to attack if I need them. I play less conservatively with my supporters here, simply because, less conservatively, because I feel like the thing that really hurt me last game was that I didn't have the Pokegear in my discarded Junk Arm, and not enough energy on the field, so those are the things I try and correct in this next game. And I'm able to pull this one out pretty easily, and I'm at 1-2 now. And I'm not dropping simply because I want the 2 championship points. I know I'm probably out of cut going 0-2 even if I win out. My resistance will be pretty poor, and I won't be able to do much, but, I came here to have fun. I'm going to play. So my next round is against another Noah, a different Noah, and this time it's the Mirror. And basically, I take the first prize with Tornadus against the Celebi, and I take the first KO on Mewtwo with my Mewtwo as a revenge. Shaymin was really clutch here because I was able to bench 2 Mewtwo with 3 energy and 2 prizes to prevent him. Oh, right. I was able to basically... Okay, I got it. Making sense of my words. I'm able to play my Shaymin down when I'm down to 2 prizes, and by playing my Shaymin, I move 6 energy equally onto 2 different Mewtwo, so 3 each. So if he revenge kills me with an X-Ball, I can just KO him back with another Mewtwo that's set up to X-Ball and knock out a Mewtwo even with an Eviolite. So basically I take Mewtwo out of the game as a possibility for him. He doesn't bench when knowing this, and I basically just X-Ball slowly but surely against Tornadus for game. My round 5 matchup is against a guy by the name of Jeff, and he's playing the only Durant. And I really thought that I was going to avoid this matchup, but I didn't. Came close, round 5 of my 3rd states. And, there have been decent Durant showing at all of my states. I guess Oklahoma, it was pretty sparse. Funny they have Kevin Durant in Oklahoma. So, anyways, basically, this matchup is clutch. I get the feeling that he might be playing Durant. I actually do the pro thing. It's not even that pro, but waiting to see as long as you can, not to play down any basics, to see if your opponent's just going to announce mulligan before you actually lay down a basic. Not exactly sure if that's 100% legal, but I don't see why it would be illegal. So I take my time. I end up just benching lone Virizion when I have Virizion and Tornadus in my hand anyways. Now I can just bench Tornadus right away, and it's really not going to make too much of a difference. And Virizion's a better starter than Tornadus because of double draw. But it turns out he's playing Ants. I'm able to just keep the grass energy on, leaf wall up a ton, and I'm able to bench him fairly easily. I don't think he devours too much of my deck. I saw him try and go for the Mewtwo EX at one point with Level Ball, but I point out that you can't get Mewtwo EX with Level Ball. He didn't seem like he plays a ton, so I wasn't, worried about him doing that, trying to cheat me. And it's a pretty easy thing to catch. But I take round 5 that way, just basically leaf walloping for days. Round 6, I'm paired against a guy named Ken in the Mirror again, so a lot of Mirror matches, but I think I actually played against CMT more than Zeals, which is kind of funny. And he rips 4 energy onto a Mewtwo. He rips a Mewtwo with 4 energy on it, like right off the bat, turn 1, going first against my Tornadus. And I have the Mewtwo DCE in hand, so he only does 80 damage to my Tornadus, no big deal. And I have the Mewtwo DC in hand. I play them. I think I play out a couple other cards than a Juniper, hoping to hit the switch or the Skyarrow, knowing that if I take that first Mewtwo prize there, it is huge because I am putting pressure on him to put 3 energy on Mewtwo to revenge, and just setting myself up for all kinds of goodness. But unfortunately, I whiff on the switch / Skyarrow Bridge. Made me think, my Skyarrow count of 2 is not the best idea, but there are a lot of situations I'm sure where it actually did help, so, you only notice the ones, I guess, where it's not there. Anyways, I end up having Shaymin in hand, though, so I decided to Shaymin to move my energy just in case, but he drops the extra energy on his turn and KOs my Mewtwo. Basically, I'm forced to take a couple Tornadus prizes because I can't hit my own Mewtwo's, and I take a couple prizes with him, and then I finally do get my Mewtwo to revenge his Mewtwo. And basically, the way this ends up going is that I am able to just knock out that one Mewtwo with a ton of energy, and he kind of loses board control after that, and basically he kind of whiffs on a few things, and I'm able to just knock out another Mewtwo for game. So it was a really close one, it was a really fun one. I think it would have been a lot different paced with me being really far ahead in that game had I been able to hit the switch of Skyarrow Bridge, but it's probably my best matchup of the day. My round 7 opponent is a guy named Ryan. He's another local. I had played against him in the Chicago Marathon, and he's playing Terrakion, which is another deck I hadn't played in the Marathon to this point. I start with Tornadus, which is, pretty ideal. The only thing better probably could have been either Virizion or a Celebi Tornadus start. But what happens is I have a really slow start, and I don't think I get attacking until turn 5. He's playing Crushing Hammers, and he misses most of them, but he hits like 1 or 2, and I think out of like 5. And those are really slowing me down even more. I can't hit my double colorless, and starting to attack turn 5. He was pretty slow as well, but I need to capitalize on those few turns that I get against Terrakion, being a CMT player. Those are really what will set me up for the win. But he gets a ton of energy on his field. And I whiff on an Eviolite for my Mewtwo once I decide to go aggro Mewtwo with using Shaymin to Celebration Win. And I Juniper then hoping to hit the Eviolite, and I whiff on it, which hurts really bad because it turns Mewtwo into a 2-hit KO instead of a 3-hit KO. But, that's really crucial. I think that would have been another thing that could have helped me come back and win that one. And then after that, the last thing that really puts the nail in the coffin for me is that he's able to play catchers once I do get Virizion going after when Virizion becomes my most viable option. And he's just able to basically catch her and prevent the 180 or 160 rather Leaf Wallops for KOs every turn. And after that, he just has too much energy on the field. I think he's got like 3-2-2 energy-wise, probably energy in hand, and EXP shares to go around. So at that point, I know that the loss is inevitable. I think I have 2 prizes left when he ends up taking it. But it was a really good game. It was interesting to play that deck. I know that once I don't get the fast start, I know I'm pretty screwed against it, especially whiffing on the Eviolite from Mewtwo. That's really the key part of the matchup for me. So I end up dropping back down to 4-3. A little unfortunate, but I had a nice comeback there for a while, winning 4 games in a row and coming close on that 5th one. But I ended up placing 31st, which is just barely enough for that kicker point. So that brings me up to 15 championship points. They haven't posted anything about the ELO ratings, so I'm assuming mine will maybe go down a little bit, probably like 10 points-ish, just based on who I lost to and who I won against. Which, kind of sucks, but at the same time, I don't really feel like my ELO should improve for that performance. I lost 2 games in a row right off the bat. That was kind of harsh. A little bit of a confidence knocker. I did have a really late night the night before, which was probably a bad idea and probably contributed to the first loss. I can't blame the second one on that, though. It was just a really good play by my opponent. Really, the first game I lost on a really nice play, too. So all my matches, for the most part, were in one way or another really interesting and fun. It was a nice day. I met a couple of Hey Trainer kids, which is always nice. Shout out to Captain X24, you're a cool kid. Nice to meet you. I did see Polytoad there, but he actually didn't say anything to me, and I didn't either because I didn't realize it was him. So I guess I met him, but not really. But so yeah, overall a fun day, and that'll be it for today. Again, list is in the D box if you want it. And I will catch you, I guess, the next thing I'm doing is regionals are in question, so for sure Battle Roads. I don't really know details or how many I'm going to, probably 2 to 3. But I will catch you guys later. Make sure you rate, comment, subscribe, like, do your thing, promote the channel, helps it grow, helps bring better content. Hopefully you like this new camera that I'm using. I think it's a lot better. And yeah, that'll be all.